What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, getting ready here for our live session here for New York. It's about 30 minutes to the U.S. equity markets open. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Taking note here, all the familiar fam up in here. We got an exciting session ahead of us, actually. We're going to be aware of the market conditions as we start today. But actually, there's a lot to talk about, and every day is a learning experience. I'm excited to be here to learn whatever lessons the market has to offer today. I'm excited to be able to offer whatever insight I can and share that with you. Take your time started, Jordan. I'm rewatching the True Trend videos. Richard, we're going to be adding more modules to the trading program on the True Trend to get those out to everyone in the coming weeks. Ricardo, buenos dias. Great to see you all here today. Oh, what a good day. Yeah, Jackie, every day can you imagine 20 years later and every day is a learning experience. That's one of the things that attracted me to the markets in the first place was just the challenge itself. And the markets are a beautiful thing that just being able to look at how everything in the world is interconnected and trying to get ahead and piece that puzzle together and then figure out where we could go ahead and make our money. Mr. K, right back at you, brother. All right, everyone. We're going to start off with just noticing what's going on here today and just like checking in with the pulse of the market, which is a little bit muted today. It's a little bit muted. There's really not much going on. Now, the flow of this live stream is going to be a little bit different today. I'm actually going to go through all of the currency pairs in order and pretty quickly, seeing what's going on, getting a very good feel for myself. We're going to be looking, by the way, we're going to be looking at the calendar. Today we have Fed Chairman Powell testifying once again, and we all know that he does speak. He's scheduled to speak on Friday. It's off the calendar now, huh? I wonder if there's been a schedule changed. He was originally scheduled to speak on Friday. We will I don't know. That's the first I'm seeing it's not on the calendar anymore. We do have on Friday quid witching. This Friday, quadruple witching refers to the date on which stock index futures, stocks index options, and stock options and single stock futures expire all at the same time. Expect volatility going into Friday session, but that's not what we're seeing today. Later today, we have New Zealand. Out of New Zealand, we have GDP numbers and employment numbers out of Australia. And the reason I bring that up, and we'll probably look at them first, Australian dollar, US dollar, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, both offering possible opportunity coming in to the next session. We're going to take a look at everything. We're going to take a look at everything right now. Jerome is listed on, oh, okay. We got different times over here. Yeah, we got noon over here today as well. Isan, we got him at noon today. It's Friday that I'm curious about because he was scheduled to speak on Friday. Not sure what's going on there. All right, there you go. Thanks, David, for clearing that up. David saying that he's still scheduled to speak. It's only of medium importance. That's why I'm not seeing it on my calendar. Thomas, we'll look at the Euro Japanese yen as well. Like I said, we're actually going to go ahead. I'm laughing. Someone just popped in here and hit the thumbs down. We'll look at the Euro Japanese yen as well. As I said, we're going to start this session off a little bit different. Really, yeah, I see that. And the Euro US dollar also looks like it's on the verge of perhaps also breaking down. So we're going to look at both of those. But I see it, Thomas. That looks to be true. It looks clear. Excuse me. And then here on the Euro US dollar, we could also see over here we're having this little area here is possibly on the verge of breaking down or holding a support. But both of those look like they're in play. Let's start off over here with the S&P 500. 2 more thumbs down. Anyone? Because someone else hit a thumbs down. I want 4 thumbs down. Please, someone just do it for me. I would appreciate it very much. Let's give the troll some love. Please, someone. I can't hit it myself. We got the S&P 500 over here. I'm seeing muted price action. 17 thumbs down. God love you. Appreciate it. I'm seeing over here some muted action over here, and I'm seeing consolidation forming over here. This is what we're looking at, right? Is this a market that you want to be taking a trade on right now? Is there any type of edge? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is there, Jay, what's going on? Is there any type of edge in taking a trade this morning here on the S&P 500? Obviously, the answer is clear. The answer, it's all right, brother. It's all good. You know what? It's all good. You can see over here on the S&P 500, we are consolidating. We are consolidating and at a pretty important level. Why do I say it's important? Zoom out with me. Keep that tighter perspective over here. If we come back down into this channel, if we break out of this consolidation to the downside, yeah, then we should see a further dip over here on the S&P, putting some pressure on it. Maybe or probably first testing around the 3060 area and maybe as far down below as 3033. Now, if we break out up over here, you could see this horizontal resistance coming in at 3146. If we break up, is there a good chance that we come into this little bit of supply that we put in last week and kind of around the 3200 level? Is that where we our next move? That's what I'm seeing. That's what it looks like to me, right? But right now during this session, do I think we're going to take out either the high of low or I don't know. It looks like a consolidation session. There's your guideline of what to watch for. It kind of gives you an easy entry or the next clue for what's next. Now, what's going on? Let's take a look at, just really quick, let's take a look at the Nasdaq just to get a top-down view, right? What does that look like to you? To me, it looks like it's due for a pullback as it's getting up here. For me, it looks like it's due for a pullback. I don't think this thing is going to go straight up over here. It's just my my feeling, my gut. Same thing, you can see the consolidation here on the Dow. You could see it really quick without me probably having to point it out to you, but I want to draw it in nevertheless. All right, just want to draw that in really quick. And you can see it happen in there as well. And what about, we already looked at the S&P, but there's the similar structure to what's going on the Dow. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that we're going to break down. What I'm saying is, I don't know which way we're going to break. We're consolidating, but you could see here as we're coming now compressed, you could see as an edge of what might be next. And you could see we're at an important line over here where we could actually have a bullish extension or some downside pressure. It could go either way. It could go either way. So you can see the time frame right here, Jose. You see where it says 8H, or if I switch over to the daily time frame, now over here it's going to say 1 daily. Is that good for everyone? Is everyone able to see clearly over here, or is it better for me to zoom out just a click like this? Well, I don't really like that. Just look for it in the center, Jose. Look for the time frame in the center. Oh, kind of lost my feel. 1 second over here. Jose, what happened? All right, there we go. Boom. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We got a lot going on here. It's a muted session, first of all. Even though we're looking at all these things that are occurring, trying to get a feel for the market, you have to have your pulse on the market. Today we're consolidating. Not much on the calendar. I don't think Jerome is really going to be much of effect. Coronavirus is, when we start getting numbers out of the U.S., maybe. But the market has, guys, pay attention. The market has really so far shaking off the escalation in China, in Beijing, of coronavirus resurgence. Now, keep in mind, if it's resurging there, it makes sense it's going to resurge after it's finally beaten. In places like Europe and the US, they have tighter controls than in the West, right? But whatever. That's how I kind of feel about it right now. Whatever. Let's say DXY. Let's check in on the DXY right now. And it looks to me, and I'm not saying, this actually looks like a reverse head and shoulders forming. Everyone see that? There's the neckline over here. So watch that today. You could just keep an eye on this horizontal resistance right there, right? Coming in at 97.33, or it might even be at 97.40, where let me clean this up. You could see over here, let me draw it. I want you to be able to see it clearly. This was the resistance, right? Right there. So that's the level we're trying to get above. That also is kind of close to where the neckline of this reverse head and shoulders would be developing. And just watch that level. If we break above it, then we should see a further extension on the dollar. What else is there? Like I said, we're seeing some thumbs down removed. That's kind of nice of you all. That's kind of nice of you all. I really don't care if you hit the thumbs down, to be honest. Here you got the gold. We're looking at gold still consolidating. We're looking at gold still consolidating. Any way you look at it, things are seasonally. This is not the time for gold. I forgot who, forgive me for it, but someone shared yesterday that I believe, I forgot if they said, I think they said maybe late July, early August becomes again a seasonally good time to be or for gold. And right now we're not in one, and price is just consolidating over here. It looks very nice. This type of consolidation is going to lead to a huge breakout. Obviously, I lean towards it being towards the upside. And if you get any opportunity now where I was avoiding this level over here, I was avoiding buying off 1670. If we come down and we start testing between 1692 and 1670, hey, building into a position might be a smart idea because your risk is capped. You know where you're wrong. You get out of the trade and get back into that trade later. But anyway you look at it, now's not the time to be really swing trading on gold. You are consolidating, but you're consolidating towards yearly and 8-year highs. The fundamentals are set up for this thing to explode higher. We'll keep watching. We'll keep watching. Wow. All right. What about silver? Silver is a little bit more jumpy, but more or less the same exact price action we're seeing on gold. We're seeing a little bit of consolidation over here. We're towards the lower bound over here. Well, I don't want to read too much into it. If you don't hold gold and silver, you do want to take a portion, whatever you think is correct, of your portfolio and be holding gold and silver, specifically the real stuff, the physical stuff, right? And dollar cost averaging into silver is a great idea, right? You could buy, a few ounces a month, and then, over the course of the next year, that's going to add up. But you want that as protection. Ripple made a move. Ripple's been kind of quiet. Where's XRP? Yeah, up 2%. Crypto's been kind of quiet as well. And Bitcoin, we're going to talk about that in a second. All right, bottom line here, the precious metals, they're really just consolidating right now. Probably their next move is up. All right. WTI, what's going on? WTI looks kind of like maybe this is the place where it's going to be rolling over. It's hard for me to tell. I continue to avoid it with a strong will. It's hard for me to say, but I could see this happening over here. If we're gonna go long, right? That would be the next swing play, breaking above that little trend line. Then we might be able to finally close this little gap over here. Maybe even trade as high as $45. But I keep watching oil because if we do have any type of further lockdowns, which are possible if people listen, if we run into some trouble, specifically in the fall, oil is going to really set for another drop over here, and a big one. It's not happening yet, but you have to keep just watching it. Bitcoin still continues to consolidate. After I go over all of my analysis, and I want to go over all of these FX pairs at a pretty fast pace today and get a really good feel for what's going on. John, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. My pleasure. Now, Bitcoin has been consolidating kind of close to the precious metals. The precious metals have been consolidating. Bitcoin also consolidating. It looks like it's getting ready for another breakup. The concern for a lot of people has been, and I don't want to get into this now, I'm going to get into this after I do my analysis. The concern for people is Bitcoin correlated to the stock market, and is the stock market going to crash, and therefore Bitcoin is going back down to test 3,800. And I have been a proponent that the Bitcoin and the stock market are not correlated. That's what I've been telling y'all, right? And I've looked at for where I was getting that from. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And I have some information that I want to look at for you, making the case that Bitcoin and the stock market are correlated. Because the thing is I always want to know both sides. I don't have this desire, I don't have a need to be proven right. I just want to be correct. I want to be on the right side of the trade. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to find out after we go over our analysis. We're going to take a look at a possible correlation between Bitcoin and the stock market and what that might mean. And also, by the way, this tweet, this is from Santiago Capital, Brent Johnson, who is obviously probably one of the biggest dollar bulls out there. And he just spent doing an hour with Lynn. Now, Lynn over here, Lynn Alden, she's a great analyst. She provides really good information, and she is a dollar bear. So this is going to be on Real Vision, and this is going to be really interesting. They're going to be talking about swap lines, treasury insurance, currencies. I'm really interested to get a seat for this conversation and hear what a dollar, both level-headed people. You could see even Lynn saying Brent is a gentleman and a scholar. Both these people have mutual respect, and they're outlining the argument for the bull case and the bear case for the dollar. That's something that I want to follow, and I will definitely keep you all up to date on that as we find out more. Now, Bitcoin, that's Max. Yeah, Max. Right. That's a good point too, Max. That's a good point too. I like that comment. I see them both consolidating up over here. I like it, Max. And I'm not saying in this moment that Bitcoin is correlated or not to the stock market. I'm saying I've outlined my case on why I do not believe they are correlated over the long run. Or why there are important periods where there's a huge disconnect between the two, and Bitcoin goes off and does its thing, whether it's to the upside, and also I showed how it's also to the downside. And then we're gonna look at how maybe they are correlated. So we're gonna look at them both. Now, let's dive in over here. Let's take a look. We already looked at the dollar, and we saw the dollar is kind of looks like on the 8 hour here, it could be forming a possible reverse head and shoulders. We're looking at this area over here of 97.40. And if we're able to get above that, we should see a further extension of the dollar, probably taking us back into this area over here, this trend line. This was the channel we traded in for about 6 weeks, which was providing support. That should now be resistance over down here. So we'll extend that a little bit, right? Extend that over as it comes into play. If we break it, we'll also make this a little bit darker. And then we also have this horizontal line at 98.30. That is going to probably be some resistance here on the upside. If and when we do break above it, dollar's acting and looking pretty bullish at that point. Until then, it's now in the downtrend. You're looking to sell resistance in downtrends. Let's see over here. We're going to start. I wanted to look at the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. Both have some high impact news events later this evening. New Zealand dollar GDP, Australian dollar employment numbers. Both are kind of setting up where they might be becoming kind of interesting. And why do I say that? Well, I see them rolling over here a little bit. If you're looking on a larger perspective, they're in downtrends. If you're looking more towards shorter time frame, they're in uptrends. So at this point, you could be looking to either sell resistance or buy support. Either one of those I'm all about. But over here, you could see what's going on. You could see we've come back up into this little bit of resistance, rolled over again, bounced off this support. What I'm getting at over here is you can see that we're coming up into resistance right over here, this blue pocket area that I said I would look for like a sell area. If we're able to hold this overnight, if we're able to hold it overnight now, because we're getting some data release, maybe the move happens before I get into the trade. But if I'm able to go ahead and get an entry over here during London tomorrow, I'm watching the Australian dollar, US dollar for a possible short entry over here. And the same thing with the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. It's almost the exact same setup over here. If we're able now to roll over here, we'll be trading below this resistance. There should be resistance right here. You could see right here where we topped out over here. This is an area of resistance. The market didn't pay attention right there. I'm going to move that right there. That's the resistance that we're looking at right now in the market. And if that holds, that is setting up a really nice trade perhaps overnight for London. Now, Thomas brought up the euro Japanese yen, and you could see over here that if you step back, well, obviously it's in a big downtrend. If you step back, near term, it put in a huge move as the euro strengthened during all of this time over here. You could see that it looks like it's in jeopardy, perhaps, of if it breaks this little bit of this trend line over here, which is also horizontal. So this support is down a little bit lower right there. If it breaks down below there, we could see further pressure here for sure on the euro Japanese yen. I don't see a signal for how I trade that like an active signal that I would take here. Up here was the last signal that I would have been looking for. So I'm just going to stand aside on there, but just pointing out what's going on over there. Euro US dollar, same thing, right? It looks like it is on the verge of possibly breaking down if it loses this area of support. We already looked at the dollar, and that made sense. Why? Let's start taking a look around over here. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar really seems to be really still in this formation over here, which I think is a bull flag. And it looked to peak out over there. It was rejected by the horizontal resistance, back down into the flag. Is that an entry right here, right now? I mean, not for me by any means whatsoever. It may prove actually to be a nice place to go ahead and take an entry. It's just not really my style. I mean, well, maybe that's not even true. Hold on one second. You got some nice area of support right here at local support. Coming off it, entry. I mean, listen, it's up to you to discern. It's up to you to discern. It's not my style. Is it, when I say my style, it's just not a trade that I'm interested in taking over here. But it's something to look at and something to consider. For sure. Australian dollar, Swiss franc. This looks similar to what we were looking at on the Australian dollar, US dollar, actually. Let's see over here. I feel like I need to tidy up my trend lines on these pairs that I haven't been trading. And I need to do that. Nevertheless, what's going on over here as we're resuming up? Are we resuming up off of any support? No, there's no support over there. Down over here, yeah. I mean, I'm just staying away. But I want to draw this in over here. I'm seeing this on the S&P. I'm seeing this on the Dow. I'm seeing this over here. I'm seeing this throughout the market. We are coming and we're getting ready for some big moves, whether they happen overnight tonight or whether they happen Thursday or whether they happen Friday morning, and I don't know. But we are getting ready for some big moves. Be aware, now's the time to actually be watching the market. What I'm sensing so far right now, yeah, Edward, I'll get to that one second. What I'm sensing right now is that I'm seeing on the horizon that set coming in. I don't see any particular waves that I want to set myself up to ride, but I'm seeing that set come in on the horizon. Australian dollar, Swiss franc, you can see it over here. It makes it clear. Next move setting up. We want to skip ahead to the euro, Australian dollar. Yeah, I mean, if anyone would, the entry was really up here earlier in the week. We looked at that both times, right? As long as you stay below this horizontal and this specifically this trend line, that for sure you're in a pretty sharp downtrend with a lot of momentum, selling resistance. Would someone want to go ahead and take this trade? Perhaps. I mean, perhaps. You made a lower high, which is a good off the resistance over here, which is a good signal rolling over. Just be careful. That's all I could say. Just be careful on that trade. Euro, Australian dollar, both a little bit. I'm seeing euro weakness. And my gut is telling me that this risk on move is about to come to an end. Now, I'm not saying that you should trade off of my gut by any means, but when I have those conflicting things inside, I avoid that area. I avoid that pair. So I hope that's hot. But I hope. Oh, you took it earlier this week. That's a different situation. If you took the better entry, you're now in control, Edward. You're now in control of the trade and you're able to manage it well. You could see over here that we put in a swing high and have resumed out of it. So now you know if you trade back above that high over here, at that point you need to exit the trade and that will be right where you entered it. So that's a more or less within a few pips break even. So that's a pretty good situation to be in now that you've put in this swing high. You could go ahead and tighten up your stop loss from where it was originally, because if it trades back up here after resuming down, you don't want to be involved in that trade anymore. Yeah, the Burma. So generally speaking, it's the Euro US dollar that is the accepted symbol. Now it's just the inverse of it. It's just the inverse of it. There's no difference except that it's completely inversed. Boom, 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 boom. No, I asked everyone to go ahead and smash that that thumbs down. I asked them to do it, brother. So I appreciate everyone who went ahead and did that. So funny. Yeah, there's a lot to dislike. If you're not able to discern whether or not there's information up here being shared that's of value for you, then this place is not for you. You have no, like, if you're not able to make that type of assessment, then this place is not for you. So get on with you. That's all I have to say about that. There's not really much else I could say So let's look over here. We missed the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and we also missed the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Like I said, I see consolidation. I see a sideways market over here. There's nothing attractive for me whatsoever. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. What's going on? You can see off the support over here, we're making a higher high. That's interesting because this is an uptrend that you're in for the last couple of months. You could see this right now is a possible signal over here as you're making a higher high over here off this support. Anyone looking? I'm not looking for trades right now, to be honest. As I said that at the beginning of the session, the reason being was because the market feels muted to me as we're coming into New York. That does not mean that we're not going to see some volatility during this session. Normally we do, right? But right now, I just have that feeling. So unless something becomes abundantly clear, I can't imagine it. So I'm not looking to take this trade over here. I see the signal. If we get closer to this resistance over here and then roll over, I like that a lot. We have, again, Australian dollar in play today with some high impact employment numbers coming out. Anyone who was taking this long trade right here, I see it, but again, I'm choosy about my setups, and this is just one that I want to avoid. Lewis, listen, my thoughts about the U.S. dollar, what is that? Is to avoid exotics. Excuse me, Swedish krona. Is to avoid exotics, right? This looks to be over here like you are in a pretty strong downtrend, coming into some strong resistance over here. Are you putting in a possible bottom over there? It's too soon to tell. This is the line that you need to be focused on right over here. That's the line, right? Below that, that's resistance. You're looking to sell. Get above that over there. At that point, this thing has some further upside. I'm not sure exactly what your question was. I hope that helps. But I would avoid any exotics myself. I've waited 4 hours for a break of consolidation. No live trades today, just for fun. Took trades on a demo to see how good trades inside Constellation Air. So, by the way, Anaya, by the way, the reason I'm highlighting this comment is because she recognized that we were inside a consolidation period. That's pretty good stuff. Now, the reason I'm highlighting that because it's very important to understand. It's very important to understand what the market conditions are around you. The fact that you recognized the state of the market and then tried to trade within that situation, that's pretty cool. That's great trading. Good job. By the way, we peek at Ripple. Someone said that Ripple was on the move, or XRP, whatever they like to call it. And let's take a look at that because you could see off of this support over here that Ripple, that XRP. I get confused, right? First it's Ripple, now it's XRP because the company is Ripple and the crypto can't be Ripple. Otherwise, it would be fraud, I think. So they call it XRP now. You're coming into this area right now of resistance. Let's draw that in. You could see that XRP is leading the way today. Get above this level, and then there's further upside potential. Right? But you're into resistance right now. You don't want to chase the move. If you look over here, you can see Bitcoin, again, is down. And you see the rest of the altcoins are kind of making moves upwards with XRP leading the way, but she's into resistance. So don't chase momentum. Don't be a momentum chaser. What else do we want to? We want to keep going through all euro, Canadian dollar in a clear sideways consolidation area. Big move coming eventually between the resistance here and the support here. Listen, I don't like to do it. I am a proponent of it. If you want to sell resistance and buy support in a sideways market, it's a good strategy. I like it. I just don't do it. But there's a big range over here. There's a big range. You're right now in the middle of it. You're in no man's land. There's not much of an edge right there from you. But there you go. Yeah. Amy, there it is. That's why. So, Brahma, I don't have an opinion on Elliott Wave. It's highly subjective. What I show you here is how to trade the markets off of price alone, right? Using the structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines, and yes, with the help of the true trend, because the true trend really does help. Nevertheless, it's all about price in the end. Have there been successful traders with Elliott Wave? I'm sure of it, probably. You could be a successful trader with moving averages. You could be a successful trader with fib levels. You could be a successful trader with oscillators. There are so many different variables. But listen, if you want to make money, keep things simple. A lot of people inside the training program are showing really good results. Keep it simple. Focus on support and resistance, and your trading will never be the same. Yeah. Zulu family, I'm trying to get everyone, to drink the water, keep things simple, and just, follow price here over the structure of the market. I really want them to do that. Jason, wow. Jason, I'm super supportive of that. The fact, obviously, that you're making huge progress, but really, that 16.5% is a little bit over leveraged. And we weren't here for the long term. We want to get you profitable, consistently profitable, and for the long term. This is not for the short term. So I applaud you, brother, and I support you. But we have to work on that money management. We need to get you trading correct position size. Let's keep going. I don't want to get off of my groove over here. I really want to look at all of these pairs and setups over here. You could see the Euro Swiss franc coming into an area of support over here. You could see it, right? And when I say that, you could see this was support that broke. And then all of a sudden, this is now resistance. And now we're coming into support. So if that holds and resumes off, does that open up a long trade over here? Absolutely. If you break below here, though, if you lose this important support, then that opens up a nice trade to the downside. So over here, you're actually looking at a nice inflection point, opening up both sides of the market. I happen to avoid the pair myself, but I'm just pointing out what's going on because there is opportunity there. And that's what we're here for, right? Just to point out the opportunity. Trying to help each other out over here. Let's take a look at the Euro New Zealand dollar because we're only two pairs away. We want to look at everything this morning. This looks pretty solid over here, rolling over. This was the trade. This is strong resistance. Strong resistance, right? This is when we came back up and retested that strong resistance. That was the entry, right? So what happens over here now? It looks like a good trade that continues to move down, but I don't see any type of entry over here. This is a trade that you are currently have to be managing. So looking good. Be aware you have high impact data out of New Zealand later today. Yeah, it's okay to trade it. I don't trade. It's okay to trade the Euro Swiss franc. Yep. Yeah, Dan. So we started off the session saying, I just want to really highlight that really quick, Dan, because we're going to be talking about that as soon as we get through all these pairs. Dan has pointed out that Plan B has gone ahead and shared this tweet over here about the correlation of the S&P to Bitcoin. I've pointed out that I don't think that the two are correlated. I've shown examples of why I don't think the two are correlated. I've showed examples of why I don't think the two are correlated, or at least that Bitcoin at certain points of its bull market and bear market really, makes big moves against the S&P. And I mean, you can't argue with the data. I pointed it out. Bitcoin making an 85% drawdown while the S&P didn't move. So how correlated are they? But Plan B is pointing out the correlation. We're going to look at that after we go through all the pairs, because I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I want to learn. I just want to know, both sides of the argument. So we'll take a look at that later, Dan, for sure. That's terrible. That's terrible to hear, Stefan. Yeah, Plan B is pretty significant. He's added an enormous contribution to the Bitcoin community with the stock to flow research. He's blown away. He's blown away some really including Raoul Pal, the founder of Real Vision. He's blown away some guys that have worked for the desk of Jeff Cohn and worked under Soros, some of their lead traders, with his research on stock to flow and Bitcoin. So he's a quant who has provided some valuable research to the community. Yeah, Plan B Plan B is you want to consider what he has to say, as we talked about even with Brent Johnson and Lynn, both taking the other sides of the trade on the bull and the bear for the dollar. You want to consider both sides of their argument to form your own opinion. That's what it's about, right? You want to be able to form your own opinion. All right, let's keep going over here. So let me check in on the S&P now, which is fading so far. The move as we're now about 7 minutes into the market open, coming down to an area of support. Let's jump down over here. You can see the range that we're in, the triangle, giving us a pretty solid indication of where we are right now. This is just a guide, by the way. That's just a guide for you. But coming down now into that area of support, be interesting to see what happens at the level of 31.26. DXY is not really doing anything this morning. It's got its eye on a possible reverse head and shoulders. And if it does break above this level of 97.40, we should see a further extension. Silver and gold continue to consolidate, and we're going to start continuing. We're going to look at what's going on through the rest of FX. Same thing. I see a lot of consolidation. Does everyone see it? I see a lot of consolidation, right? Consolidation, it could really, hats off to recognizing what kind of market you're in. It'll protect you from taking some trades that you shouldn't take. And it's a really good position to be on the outside, watching till things become clear, and then attacking instead of trying to force. No, Marco, I got stopped out into profit yesterday. I took like 120 points off the S&P. Great trade. Very, very happy for it. But no, I'm not in that trade at all. Looking over here, I just see the euro pound consolidating over here. Nothing doing over there whatsoever. Here comes the euro Japanese yen, testing that important area over here. If it does break, you probably will see some further downside. Really no entry for me to get involved in that trade. Nevertheless, I want to be able to follow what's going on in the market. Pound Australian dollar. Pound Australian dollar. Again, for me, there's no signal. And not only that, I'm just kind of looking at this fuzz. It's a consolidation. We're getting ready for a breakout. We want to be involved in the breakout or the first pullback of a breakout. And, when you get the next trend over here, when you get the true trend making a new trend, and then you get the first pullback of the entry CCI, that first impulse is normally a good place to look for a trade. So right over here, though, if we break down and make another leg down over here, if we do make another leg down, the first pullback from that leg might be the best place to take that trade. So we're getting close, but there's nothing going on that I see yet right now. Either am I, Jordan. That's a good comment. I'm not yet convinced either. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we got an election this year, so you got a big fight going on. The powers that be that are trying to prevent a second term, and then you got the candidate himself, the president, trying to fight for a second term. The U.S. Treasury, by the way, there's talk of further stimulus. I want to talk about that really quick. By the way, headline, stocks shrug off second wave in China. That's a big deal, something to pay attention to. But we're going to hear lots of talk of stimulus coming up. This is coming from the White House over here, talking about $1 trillion for infrastructure. They're trying to talk up the markets as best as they can. I don't know where they would be able to get the $1 trillion from in order to do that. Nevertheless, you're going to start seeing a lot of talk of further stimulus. I don't think we're going to be able to come to any bipartisan deals here unless we were in a crash for any type of stimulus, because you have one side of the aisle, it's their benefit not to pass any stimulus, and then the other side to get reelected, it's for their benefit. So I don't think we're going to see any stimulus that's bipartisan. However, the U.S. Treasury is sitting on $1.5 trillion war chest right now, and you could see stimulus coming directly from the Treasury itself. Yeah, we spoke about that. Long lost post. Thanks for adding that in. But we spoke about that. I'll highlight it again this afternoon when we talk about what's going on. In this afternoon for the S&P video. So, boom. Let's keep going. Let's check out the pound Japanese yen. Pound Japanese yen. I see the yen slowly creeping. This is a good level to watch over here. If this support breaks, let's break this down. If this support breaks, right, that opens up a time to start attacking to the downside again, right? That would be a retest and then a resumption down. What about, do you want to buy over here? What happens to the long side? We're at a nice little even point over here into some support. You could say definitely we're in an uptrend, right? Right. Yeah, sure. We're in a downtrend also, bigger perspective, right? So what do you do over here at this level? Are you looking to buy over here if you resume up? Maybe. It's a question of picking what setups you want. We're getting close. We're getting close to some waves breaking. They're not here yet. All right, let's keep going. But by the way, Plan B has, I think, this implies the S&P trading by around December of 2021. The S&P trading at 4,300. Would anyone be surprised? Pound New Zealand dollar. This looks kind of interesting as well. When I say this looks kind of interesting, here's the consolidation. Is this going to break down? Maybe, right? We have New Zealand dollar in play later this afternoon. If that breaks down, I don't take the breakout, but a retest of that consolidation level. I see lots of trades coming into the market soon. This is going to be, listen, I have the next few days alone in the house, and I'm going to be able 100% today and tomorrow in the evening to do some trading view updates around Asia and be able to take a look at what possible setups are coming in for overnight in London. So whether or not you're following the channel on TradingView or you have the Telegram updates, look for those updates later today. And it's a good time as we're seeing possible entries maybe developing later. All right, let's keep going over here. By the way, if you like the flow of the session today, go ahead and do hit that like button just so I know that you kind of like a little bit more of the faster pace going through the pairs, looking at what's going on. Let's take a look at the pound US dollar over here. Pound US dollar, taking a step back. I actually moved my head away from the screen a little to get a better look. I'm looking at what was going on over here. I should have had a line over here or over here, right? I don't have it. I'll add that in. Not right now with y'all. But this is consolidating. This is also consolidating. You could see that, right? Did you see that pattern over and over again today? It's happening. If you get a break below this support over here, that will be definitely opening some beautiful, nice trades over here to the downside. Are you coming into an area of support right now where if you rolled over, you would take it? Maybe. I'm not sure, but maybe. I don't know about this little bit of support. Let me move that up a little bit because the market's kind of focusing right there. I have to clean my charts up, and I will do that. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Yeah, Jordan, I was thinking about this morning as I was, oh, sorry, Francis, as I was making my coffee. I was wondering how long that this whole propping up these zombie companies could go on. And, well, I can't imagine why it couldn't go on for until the system collapses. It could go on for another 10 years or so, right? Without question. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. You all tell me what you see. I'll tell you what I see. I see what we're seeing across the board in the market. Consolidation, right? How clear is that? What happens after consolidation? What happens after consolidation? Big moves, right? Look over here. Big move down. Then you can see this next price bar. That was the up price bar. The test of the broken support as resistance, and then the resumption down. That's what we're looking for coming up. That's coming up into the market. There's going to be some money to be made soon. Let's make sure that we stay alert. It's hard to stay focused during consolidation periods. It's hard to keep that edge. That's when you really right now need to start really, really just trying to focus because a big move is coming. We want to make sure that we are on top of our game to take advantage of it. Same thing here on the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. I see the same pattern I'm seeing all across the boards in the market. By the way, how did the S&P do off of that support level? Let's check in and see. And it bounced off of that little bit of support right there that we saw at 31.26. Nevertheless, it's meaningless. What is only meaningful is that right now we are consolidating in that area. Wait for the breakout. Wait for the breakout. Oh, we've had a few less dislikes. I feel like I'm earning that love today. I do appreciate that. Yeah, so we start the session off every day. IT, if you're new to the channel, by the way, if you're new to the channel, first of all, I'm glad that you're here today. I'm glad that you're here. And we always start every session off first looking at the S&P, reviewing the indices. You could always, if you ever are interested, just start off by pulling back that red dial and going to the beginning of the stream. Nasdaq over here, if you look at it on the daily time frame, you could see over here that, well, it looks to me like it needs to cool off a little bit. Let's put it that way. Here we are. We're overbought towards a nice uptrend. Yeah, I would be cautious. But rather than guessing, here's a pretty clear guide of what comes next. Follow the breakout of this little triangle that you're in right here. It's at an important level. We spoke about it very clearly. This trend line, I'm just going to highlight it right now because it's so important right now. This trend line right here, I'm going to just make it a little bit darker because above that trend line, bulls have a further extension, maybe coming up into this area around 32, 32.10. But if you break down at that point, we're at the top of our consolidation little channel we have over here, and a move into 30.33 seems reasonable, or maybe 30.60 seems reasonable. So it's a nice guide over there. Yeah. I'm surprised more checks haven't come, but the stock market's up. So I guess they don't feel the need. Let's keep going over here. I want to get back into the analysis over here. By the way, the reason I asked everyone to hit the thumbs down earlier is because I really don't care if someone with a lack of love who's been wounded comes in here and hits the thumbs down. It's just to show them that I don't care. I asked everyone to hit the thumbs down because it really doesn't matter if you're really that wounded. Then I feel bad for you. Nothing else, nothing more. So just know when you hit the thumbs down, that you're getting a little bit of love. So Let's keep going over here. Looking at the We didn't look at the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, and I see the same exact pattern across the board. Why is that important? Why do I keep pointing that out? No one should be in a trade right now. No one should be in a trade right now, right? We're consolidating. Wait for the breakout. Nope. Here. Look at this. That's a nice little edge. That line. This pair looks good to me. New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, US dollar, and Japanese yen are something that I'm going to be tracking. They are where I'm seeing potential opportunity as we come now and are working way towards this resistance. If we reject over here, that could be a nice trade. I'll continue to watch this one. I'll continue to watch this one over here. US dollar, Japanese yen. What's going on, everyone? Let me hear it. Consolidation. Consolidation. Right? Back off. Stay away. US dollar, Swiss franc. This might be offering opportunity over here. Why the dollar is trying to pull out of that possible reverse head and shoulders. Any way you look at it, you're still in a downtrend. You're into resistance. You're backing off over here. So that's interesting. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc could be giving a sell signal right over here. Your risk to reward is good, right? Because you're looking to take profit, or at least the first piece off right around here, capping it off over there. That's a possible trade. That's the only possible trade that I've seen today. By the way, let's check back in on the dollar, who's so far this session kind of muted. Ever since New York got into this channel. Ever since New York got to their desks, dollar is a little bit muted. Let's see what happens going into the London close today to see if we get that little bit of a spike. Bitcoin lagging. Bitcoin lagging the S&P. It's lagging the altcoins. Just pointing out what's going on. But it is just like the precious metals, consolidating. All right, let's keep going down over here. We are now down to the US dollar, Canadian dollar. This looks good. This looks interesting. This looks like it's come back down over here and holding the support. And this could give a signal if it comes up and makes a higher high than London, a signal that I like. So this also, it took us to the bottom of the list to find any possible opportunity. Now, I'm not really in a rush to force anything, right? Because that's not really a good game plan. But at the same time, if something's clear and it's good, I want to be involved. This looks interesting. So US dollar, Canadian dollar, looking good over here. What about the US Canadian dollar, Japanese yen? Ooh, it's so weird. I see the Canadian dollar kind of putting in a better structure than Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen and versus the US dollar. Weird. But I do see over the similar pattern that we've looked at on the other two, where if this breaks down over here, that's also a nice trade. There's a lot of actually things to choose from. And what I like to do is when I do my analysis, actually I thought I was going to be more lit up than I am. What I like to do is go ahead and flag pairs of potential setups, and then I review them again later during Asia, and I look for which entries that I'm looking for getting into the next session during London. US dollar, Mexican peso, what's going on over here? Coming back down into this support. This also, you can't, US dollar, Canadian dollar, and US dollar, Mexican peso are very tightly correlated. You can't take trades on both at the same time, otherwise you're increasing your risk. You have to discern which of the two you want to go for. But you could see that we have pulled back into this area of support. I also see this, though. I also see our familiar consolidation pattern going on. If this resumes off over here, that could open up a possible long as well. That would mean the markets are coming off. So keep an eye on both of them, the US dollar, Mexican peso, and the US dollar, Canadian dollar. And at the same time, over here, S&P, follow the breakout over here. There you go. Maybe, so, right, we're talking about both of them being commodity currencies correlated tightly to oil. I think they're more tightly correlated to the S&P right now. But So, I mean, but the difference between Canada and Mexico, though, is Mexico hedged oil up at like $58 a barrel for the whole year. So this sell-off in oil didn't really hurt Mexico as it did other economies. So I'm not really sure. Euro US dollar breaking down over there, and probably we'll look at the Euro Japanese yen at the same time. I'll come back. There it goes, breaking below that important area. Now you still got some horizontal work to do, but it looks like now it has the potential to extend down. Euro US dollar also looking here to make the extension down. Is the US dollar on the move, making a run at that important 97.40 level. I do want to talk a minute now that we've got, I don't know, Kips, rewind before the Fed cut interest rates all the way down and started QE, and Trump wanted a weak dollar. Since that has happened, although he said that we should have negative interest rates as everyone else does, he does say that he's now supportive of a strong dollar. So I do not know. Let's take a look really quick at Plan B. Before we do that, let me just talk about first. Here's the S&P 500. I'm going to drop Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin. Let me pull up the monthly chart over here. This is going to take not more than 2 minutes to show you, but really just make things pretty clear for you. Let me compare it to the S&P 500, and then here you go. Take a look at right now. I should be doing the weekly chart. Take a look right over here as Bitcoin hit its all-time high. Bitcoin hit its all-time high and closed at $19,000. The S&P on that day was trading at 2,675, 2675. Now, fast forward, and Bitcoin has an 85% drawdown. An 85% drawdown, and the S&P is trading at 2632. The S&P hasn't moved, and Bitcoin is down 85%. So could you say the two are correlated? I can't. To me, they're not correlated if the S&P moves 20 points and Bitcoin is down 85%. I don't see a correlation there, but I'm looking at just a small period of time. I'm looking at 1 year, right? I'm looking at 1 year, and I'm looking at a year when Bitcoin went into its bear market, right? Same thing over here. Bitcoin's trading at 19,000. S&P's trading at 2675. Fast forward, right? Go back when Bitcoin is trading at 1,000, 20x'd, and the S&P is only down 250 points. So are the two correlated when Bitcoin goes bull and Bitcoin goes bear? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, here we have Plan B, who has made the contribution of the stock to flow model, which so far has proven correct. And he's saying there's a 95% correlation between the Bitcoin and the S&P 500. Now, he's a quant. I'm not. I want to know what information he could share. And he said that they're co-integrated. What does co-integrated mean, right? It's a statistical property of collection of time series variables. First, all of the series must be integrated of order. And next, if a linear combination of this collection is integrated of order less than D, then the collection is said to be co-integrated. So I don't really understand that jargon. It's not my thing. So I kind of wanted to understand what it meant, but I have to take his word for it. And then he said it's probably not spurious. You guys all know my pronunciation problems. It's a relationship of correlation is mathematical. So either which way, here we go. So he's saying that they have a 95% correlation, right? He's saying the current level of the S&P 500 implies a Bitcoin price of $18,000. So he's saying that right now either Bitcoin needs to go up to catch up to the S&P, or that the S&P needs to go down to catch the fair price of Bitcoin. He said that that is consistent with his stock to flow model, which has Bitcoin trading at 288,000, right, come December of 2021, which would imply also S&P trading at 4,300. Now, by the way, that's where it should be fairly priced. We all expect it to overshoot that price on the upside. He's saying that money printing, QE, pumps both the S&P and Bitcoin. Listen, I gave you my reasoning of why I think that the two are actually not correlated and why. And he's giving, why he thinks that they are 95% correlated. I don't know. I like to take both sides of an argument, kind of weigh them, and then figure out, how I want to trade accordingly. So I just wanted to review that to you today because, Plan B is someone who's added a lot of useful information to the community. When I say community, I mean the traders at large. And he's saying right now that they're correlated. I want to weigh that opinion. I have no desire to be proven correct. I only want to be on the right side of a trade. There you go. There's more about non-correlated info in that tweet in the replies. That's awesome, Julio. I looked at it earlier this morning, and obviously people have had a lot more time with it since. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to spend more time with it. I'm interested in it. So I want to know. Here we go. We got the dollar on the move right now. We got the dollar on the move. We got a nice amount of trading left in this session, and things will pick up into the London close. Here we got the euro now breaking down, taking out that other low we put in earlier. This could see some further extension. Bum 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 bum. Murray, why do I get ignored in chat and super chat? That's outrageous. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely outrageous. I cannot believe the fact that no one's paying it. Murray, we don't pay. Brother, man, hit the thumbs down, Murray. Hit the thumbs down. Hit the thumbs down, Murray. So there we are. There we are, everybody. We had a fantastic look at the markets. This is an absolute outrage. I cannot believe it. This guy over here is sharing his 20 years of experience with me, teaching me how to trade the markets, and I am just completely outraged. Outraged. Would someone hear me? I am outraged. Listen, everyone. Listen. Oh, boy. Listen, I'm here for my own benefit to do my analysis. It is a huge, huge, huge asset for me. By having to actually share this also from an educational standpoint, it even further improves my ability here. I hope that it is helpful for you. I really, truly do. Listen, I could care less if you hit the dislike button. The Google algorithm loves it. Whether you hit like or dislike, they just see that as interaction. I don't really care, right? So, but by the way, so you're actually helping me out, helping out the channel, supporting the channel if you hit the dislike button, right? Everyone here, they're here because they get value, because it improves their bottom line. We're here because the community is solid, because we enjoy each other, because it's a positive place. If you're here to add any type of disgruntledness, whatever, I don't really care. You're not gonna find a home. That's about it. So, so I just want to be clear and straight with you, because you all know, anyone. When I say you all here, those that are here every day, you all know what it's about. You all feel the positive love and vibe, and you all know you could not be in a more supportive place. Murray, if I miss your comment, it's because I'm focused on the charts. I'm not focused on the comments at all. At all. Don't take it personally. But do sit here and learn. There's not a better place you could be if you're interested in being able to learn how to trade the markets. You could do it just by spending time with us. All right, everyone. All right, everyone. It was a good session, but like I said, the next 3 days, my family is leaving in about an hour. I want to go have breakfast with them. I want to go spend that time with them. So I'll see you all this afternoon as we look at the markets, review what happens, as we go ahead and take a look at the S&P and the indices. I will be updating everyone. I give my word on this on the Trading View this afternoon. Look for those alerts. We'll look for setups later on. 752 likes. Man, that's a high proportion here compared to the amount of people in here. Definitely thankful and grateful for every one of you on both sides. Whether you're a thumbs downer or a thumbs upper, I still love you the same. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day. God love you. And I'll talk to you soon. That's awesome. Murray, you're welcome here, brother. You're totally welcome, but you have to fit into the flow, all right? We want you here. We want what you could add to the community. We want what you could add to the community, like everyone here. Jesse, brother. And there we go. It's Taco Wednesday here. It's Taco Wednesday. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Everyone, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to go kiss everyone over here right now. I'll talk to you later.